My show is called Simple Life. Simple Life allows the artists featured to display their works representing the world of nature in a natural environment. The artists in Simple Life share an interest in the living environment, its relationship to people, and how nature can impact a person's emotions and way of understanding the world. These artists all experiment with vivid colors and representations of simple life, whether it's an artistic depiction of fish, birds, butterflies, plants, or the light keeping these creatures alive. These works are displayed among actual living birds, butterflies, koi, and plant life, allowing the viewer to experience the works in a unique way, where the life appears to be leaving the artwork and joining the space around them. Being able to interact with living and moving life among the art creates a tranquil atmosphere that highlights the life within the art, rather than just the work itself. This type of immersive exhibit allows the viewer to perceive art in a more dynamic way that bridges the gap between the work and the living world. Being able to view a painting full of butterflies with an actual butterfly perched on your arm, or being able to view a garden painting while making your way through one yourself will hopefully be an exciting experience for the viewers who are accustomed to seeing art in a more traditional museums and galleries. The show would take place at the Butterfly Garden in the Bronx Zoo in New York, which is a greenhouse containing butterflies and birds, as well as lots of plant life and a koi pond. The Butterfly Garden is only open at the zoo from April through October, as that's when most butterflies are active, so the show length would also be April through October. So this is a layout of the garden. So you start in double door entrance so that birds and butterflies can't get out. And then there's a pathway that goes through a lot of greenery and trees that leads to a little window on the right. That's a viewing area for caterpillars and chrysalises. And then there's a koi pond on the left, followed by another set of double doors on the exit. For the show, I would add white gallery walls on either side of the path right inside the entrance, and then on either side of the window for viewing the caterpillars, and then a one wall behind the koi pond up against the wall, and then finally 2 more walls before the exit. Finch is an artist who is fascinated by light and its color and the beauty that they create, as well as the idea that the light of the sun doesn't change over the years, allowing us to see the same sunlight people would have seen thousands of years ago. He is also fascinated by science and poetry, and he has found inspiration from scientists, artists, poets, and philosophers, including Monet, Newton, Dickinson, and Turner. Finch produces a wide range of works, including sculptures, drawings, and photographs, but the works of his that I'm most fascinated by are the ones where he replicates natural light through his sculptures. For example, this work represents molecules of pigment that made up the night sky he observed over the painted desert. This piece is very similar to Cosmic Latte, which was at Mass Mocha, and that was how I found him for this project. Right next to the entrance are these 2 paintings by Andres Barraquinto. He's a Filipino artist who makes surrealist and hyper-realistic portraits that include Japanese art styles and patterns. His most famous works typically have a darkness in them that he then masks using calm expressions on the faces and layers of flowers, birds, butterflies, and traditional Japanese patterns such as ukiyo-e. Then this next piece is by Finch again and represents the 7 major stars of the constellation Orion, and the color filters he used represent the actual spectral emission of each star. These next pieces would be on either side of the glass window, with one on one wall, so this one, and then the next 2 on the other wall. These 3 are great examples of how the dark themes of Barraquinto's work are masked by beautiful colors and imagery. Chasing the Scream on the left is also a great example of the Japanese imagery he includes in his works as well. So next behind that wall would be my own work, number 8, and then there would be 3 works by Monet over the koi pond, 5 paintings by Terry Galecki, and then finally another Finch in the exit doorway. I think my own work fits into this show well, as the butterflies and birds relate well to the site, and then also to Andres Barraquinto's work. And the lighting of the sky relates to Spencer Finch and his fascination with the colors created by the sun. There's also the relationship of nature with human life. Next would be Monet over the koi pond. Monet may seem like an odd choice among these current artists, but I felt his focus on nature, use of Japanese influence, and use of vivid colors in these paintings allows him to fit into the show well. These are from a series of paintings of his gardens at Giverny, particularly of the small brook on his property that he transformed into an Asian-inspired oasis. His impressionistic style is conflicting with the hyperrealism of Andres Barraquinto and Terry Galecki, but yet he also uses Japanese influences and also painted mini lily pads. Monet also painted his garden in varying weather conditions and lighting, which relates him to Spencer Finch's fascination with light and color. The last artist is Terry Galecki. Galecki is a Canadian painter who works to recreate the feelings of calm and tranquility created by the koi pond. Through his acrylic koi paintings, Terry has found the freedom to blend the surreal with the real into intimate little worlds for the viewer to experience. He uses Japanese influence in his works as well, which is most obviously seen in his piece Kanji on the right, which uses a kanji symbol in the middle from the Japanese writing system. I've been unable to find years for his paintings online, but he's been painting koi since around the 1990s and is currently still making them today. This final piece in the show is Finch's installation, Bauhaus Light, which is a recreation of afternoon light he recorded at Bauhaus in Dessau. While none of Finch's work is directly representing life, like the other artists in the show, light and the atmosphere are necessary for life. So I feel his work still represents the wonders of life.